backseat wisdom rolling free. Driver's grin a mystery. Who's the guest? Who's the star? Spilling secrets in the car. The Cab Chat Show is back again, where tales unfold and laughs begin. Buckle up, we're on the go. Welcome to the Cab Chat Show. Lights flash like disco balls. Tiny stage with moving walls. Whispers, jokes, and maybe tears. Conversation shift the gears. The Cab Chat Show is back again, where tales unfold and laughs begin. Buckle up, we're on the go. Welcome to the Cab Chat Show. A taxi's world is full of clues, dreams and drama, front seat views. Every ride a brand new play. Tune in, hear what they say. The Cab Chat Show is back again, where tales unfold and laughs begin. Buckle up, we're on the go. Welcome to the Cab Chat Show.
The Cab Chat Show. Oh, I fucking love these geezers.
Well, welcome to Cab Chat. We're back. It's 2026. 2026, Tom.
We made it. We're here.
We made it. We're here in 2026. And did you have a good Christmas?
I had a great Christmas. A lot of time off.
You always have a lot of time off. What are you on about? You never really go to work.
More time off, though. I'm always working. So I seem to be frying my brain with just doing all YouTube and manner of online stuff. And it might not look it, because my cadence of putting stuff out on YouTube and stuff seems to have slowed a lot more now. But
you had some good ideas that we'll come to a little bit later, eh?
Yes.
So what did you get for Christmas then?
Right, I have a problem with this.
Go on. What sort of problem do you have with what
I
you
can't
had for
remember.
Christmas?
I can never remember these things.
How did you ever manage to do the knowledge?
I don't... I think doing the knowledge has probably pushed out every other form of trying to memorise stuff. If I link stuff to stuff in London, then I'm fine. So maybe that's what I need to do, link all my Christmas presents to stuff in London.
So what people have got to do is buy you presents that relate to London.
I can remember all the London stuff. I got a book on London called Why Do Shepherds Need a Bush? It's about place names, why a certain place is named the way they are in London.
Yeah.
I got like a scavenger hunt around Fleet Street. So you have to go around and it's kind of got like clues, and it's like you got to look up on a building and then that you fill out that clue on your thing.
I
and then
see a YouTube video in that, Tom.
I can't. That sounds like a lot of work making a YouTube video. Oh, yeah.
Well, and the one you're talking about isn't a lot of work. Anyway, it's 2026 and a podcast went out a couple of weeks ago that we actually recorded before Christmas because we knew we wasn't going to be able to get together over Christmas. So we recorded one before Christmas that went out a couple of weeks ago. So this is 2026 that we're actually in now, because last time we were saying we was in 2026 and we wasn't really.
And there was other things in that episode as well, so I didn't know the results of my Seru test when we spoke about that.
No, you didn't. We can talk about that today as well.
Yeah.
We recorded another one before Christmas that is actually going to go out 2 weeks after this one as well. So
I'm so confused, mate.
It's getting confusing, yeah. But we it's all a matter of getting things started and off the ground again, isn't it? Because we wanted to be what's the word? Where we do it all the time.
Efficient,
and there is a word for it, and I can't remember it. My brain's gone to mush at the moment.
Pragmatic.
No, that's not it. It's not it. Consistent is the
consistency.
word.
Yeah,
consistency is the word that we want. So, we wanted to be consistent, so that's why we recorded a couple before Christmas, so that we got ahead of ourselves. So we're in 2026, and I thought what we'd do in this episode, or the first part of this episode anyways, for those of you that don't watch YouTube, some of you may not know who Tom is. So I thought we'd introduce Tom, because obviously they know who all the other people that have been on Cab Chat are, because some of the old guard, as you call them, or the OG listeners, you know, the loyal listeners, will know who everybody is, but they won't know who you are. So I thought we could introduce you and tell people a little bit about you.
Sweet, yeah, thanks. So, well, I've just had, this has been, December was my starting my 8th year of being a cab driver. How does that work? 2017 I got my badge, and I had a background in film and media production. That's what I studied at university and college. So I kind of always had this inkling to kind of make and do stuff, but I didn't really quite like the traditional TV industry. I'd done 3 years hard graft at uni, penniless and broke. I didn't want to then go spend another 2 years being penniless and broke in London trying to get into the industry. So I did a few other TV jobs. I worked in TV advertising for a bit, but it was just all stressful. I just didn't really like the idea of it. So I kind of parked it. I got a graduate job in London for a little bit, going really a long story now, but anyway, became a cab driver. And then after cab driving, a few years into it, I was thinking, I do want to somehow reignite this. How do I, use this media sort of qualification and acumen I've got behind me, because it's tinkering, it's good fun making little projects and being creative. So I would always, you'd rank at King's Cross, and you go past YouTube and you'd see all this YouTube screens there of all the different creators when they used to have these big media walls there. And I think, I'd love to do that one day, and never got round to it. But it was only because of the pandemic, on what you call a pandemic creator, I kind of got off my arse during the pandemic and just sat in the back of my cab, just answering questions, the sort of stuff that everyone wants to know about cabs. What happens if someone's sick? What happens if you get lost property, etc. And it just spiraled and kind of evolved from there, really.
So you did the opposite to what we did, because we started before the pandemic, and then when the pandemic came, we stopped. Because we started our YouTube channel as the Hackney Carriage, didn't we? And
it was great. Because it had a real sort of presence about it. The characters involved with that, and I think that's what people really lean into on YouTube. They want to get behind people and know like the hosts, and so it's sad it didn't continue really. But
there was a few reasons why. I mean, Joe sort of dropped by the wayside. He was never available, and he's always really busy. There is a story behind that, but I'm not going to go into that. And during the pandemic, if you went out in 2s or 3s, Joe and John tried to go out and do something, and they actually got pulled by the city police.
Oh right,
and stopped from doing it. So it was after the pandemic that me and John got together and decided to start doing it again. And then John sort of lost interest in it to a certain extent, and also we found it weren't getting much traction, and we didn't know why. It wasn't being featured or anything like that. And it was when I was talking to a female cab driver at the airport, and I said, I've put some videos out on my own Instagram account, and it's only got like 200 followers, and I've put it out on the Hackney Carriage account as well, and they've done better on mine account. That's got a third of the followers than the Hackney Carriage account. And she said Instagram and YouTube are probably only seeing the first 4 letters of the first word. And they're just not featuring you. They're not banning you, but they're not featuring you.
Yeah.
And there could have been something to that, because if you remember, I mean, I haven't had the same success again. The first video I put out got like 60,000-70,000 views.
Yeah.
Which was mad.
Yeah.
Which was mad. The last one I put out got about 300 views. But
there's no rhyme or reason to it, and it's something I'm sort of coming up against now. Towards the end of last year, my kind of, I guess, reliable things and videos I put out are going down a little bit, and I think there is definitely an evolution, like a cycle that creators have, where you get big, or it's sort of, you have a bit of a rise, and it does what goes up must come down. And I think I'm kind of on the tail end of that now. So it's really quite dejecting, because you put a lot of work and effort into stuff. You really want it to do well, and you're just at the mercy of, fundamentally, you've got to make good stuff, but also if the people are kind of bored of you, if they've sort of seen enough of you, then it might not do as well as you want it to. So there is that element to it. So
what actually made you do the knowledge?
I did it. So when I was at uni, I left uni and I was doing a sales job for a little while. I was actually doing repping for Samsung. Like I was having to go around to different audiovisual, like hi-fi places, like not hi-fi places, like TV shops, old school, like independents that would stock Samsungs and that. And you'd kind of be like the visual merchandiser kind of brand rep who would go around and say like, oh, have you got the new POS that's going to go out for this new promotion that Samsung are doing or whatever? And I was staying at a friend's house because I remember I was living over my parents, and this merch job paid like nothing, like very basic travelling expenses and stuff like that. Yeah. And I had to end up like somewhere like near like Biggleswade or something like that. And I thought, well, break the drive. I stayed with my mate who lived like in sort of Hatfield at the time. That's where I studied at uni. And his dad came home. I think he was ex-Met Police or ex-police somewhere. He'd done the knowledge fairly recently, got out, and this was kind of his little retirement gig, his side hustle. And I think he came home with like a few £100 and he was like, oh, crap, what a crap day that was. And I was like, what? What are we doing there? And obviously I was like earning, it was probably like best part like 40, 50 quid a day doing this merchandising role. And I was like, oh, give me a bit of that. And what really drew me to it was the blue books. So he said, yeah, you got to go out and learn these things called blue books. And I just thought, well, if I went out and learned those, maybe I don't want to do the job, who knows. To learn a bit more about London, because I thought I knew everything about London. I didn't, obviously. I had no idea where I was going. I used to get frequently lost there, and I thought, well, if I just learn these blue books, surely that's a good skill in itself, you know, actually knowing how to get around London. And it just evolved, and enjoyed the process, and there I became a cab driver. So I didn't know any cab drivers other than him. No one I link to. I've got zero links with London. I haven't got any family live in London. I'm not from London. So, yeah.
Ah, you're not a proper Londoner then?
Well, it's kind of cool when you think about it, because it's through the rigorous process that we do of the knowledge, everyone comes out with the same standard anyway. Yeah. And there's some sort of case to be made. I think Dean from Whiz and Knowledge School mentioned this, that if you're not from London, you actually sometimes do better on the knowledge because you don't have a pre-existing idea
of what London's like,
of how it all fits together. Yeah, so you often see it with people who are, you know, people from like Eastern Europe or whatever who come and do the knowledge, and they absolutely blitz it.
Do you know, Drumslayer used to have a very good saying that the knowledge was a great equaliser. In other words, he said it didn't matter what background you come from, what education you had or anything. Yeah, you all had to do exactly the same thing, and you all ended up with exactly the same result if you finished it. And he said it was a great equaliser. He said, you know, you could have a doctor that's done the knowledge, or you could have someone that was on the dole and homeless that's done the knowledge. And at the end of the day, they both become cab drivers. They've both completed the knowledge and they both become cab drivers.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic for that.
Well, I'm a massive fan of that, because whenever... I don't know, if we're ever playing like games or party games over at Christmas or whatever, or you just play board games at home, I'm a massive stickler for the rules. I'm like, no. It says here, like, you can't do that. Like, you know, let's play it fair, correctly. You know, let's go through the process. And that was the thing I loved about the knowledge, was that it's not like coming back to TV and film when I was looking at getting filmed. That's very much like who you know, what you know, luck of the draw. And I always feel like in the back of my mind, I think, am I at a disadvantage? Have I missed something? What's going on here? Whereas if you go through the knowledge, you either get it or you don't. It's not a case of who you know, what you know. I thought when I first applied, I'm like, well, I've got a uni degree. Maybe they'll take upon me a bit more favourably. Maybe I'm like special or something, you know? Yeah. No, you go through it exactly the same way.
There was only one way you used to get through it easier, when you was tested at Penton Street, because they was all ex-policemen then.
I'd imagine.
And if you was an ex-policeman, I remember a friend of mine, I'm not going to name him, and I'm not going to name the examiner, and I said to him, how did your last appear? Well, I said to him, how was your appearances? He said, well, they were great. He said, just used to go in and have a chat. And that was it, you know.
Wild.
But, yeah, I mean, whether that was the actual truth or not, who knows, but... Yeah. At the end of the day, he was a cab driver for a long time, and he was a really good cab driver, and he knew his way around. So he did do the knowledge, and he did it properly. But who knows what his appearances were like.
I think as important as actually, I know we've divulged a little bit here, we were talking about media and stuff like that, but as important, I was thinking about this the other day, when you get your badge, it doesn't matter how good or bad you was on the knowledge, you've got to go out and drive the cab pretty solidly once you get your badge.
Yeah.
I think that is probably one of the things probably one of the things that worked well for me was that I did that. I think if I'd have gone out of the cadence I go out now,
that would have been it all over.
Would not be able to do the job entirely. You sort of the sort of routes and formations you find and the mistakes you make and the constant evolving and learning once you're out on the street is so important.
I was watching one of Dean's podcasts the other day. I think it was the one that you and Aaron were on.
Right. Yep.
And he said, once you've done the knowledge, you learn to become a cab driver.
Yes. Yep.
When you're doing the knowledge, you learn. I don't 100% agree with what Dean says about you learn how to sit in front of an examiner and ask some questions, because the idea of doing the knowledge is to learn London.
Yeah.
But then once you've passed the knowledge and you've got that knowledge of London, you then learn how to become a cab driver.
Yeah.
It's like when I first got my badge, one cab driver said to me, so all the clinics along Harley Street, do you? I said, yeah. He said, now go and learn which way the numbers go. He said, because people don't ask for the clinics, they ask for the door numbers.
Yeah.
And once you sort of get that idea that, door numbers start on most streets from the centre of London and head outwards,
yep,
you can decipher which end of the street you should be at when someone asks for a particular number. Things like that, and trying to learn how to communicate with passengers and, what their expectations are and things like that of a cab driver, because because of our reputation, everyone's got this really high expectation of a cab driver when they get in the back of a cab. They ask you some obscure street and, you don't know it, didn't you do the knowledge, eh? And all that sort of thing. So, yeah, I mean, the idea of this was to introduce you to people who haven't watched your YouTube channel, but, I mean, your YouTube channel has done really well. You got 136,000 subscribers now or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. I mean, the idea behind it was I wanted to share what this job done for me, and that could then spur on and get someone else into the job. Yeah. That's all I wanted to do with it. It was never about me. I know the channel's called Tom the Taxi Driver, but it was more like, look, this is what every cab driver has had to go through. Yeah. So more people jump in cabs, have a greater respect and understanding for the job. And I feel like it has done that. And just this weekend, actually, an article went out on the Times.
Yep.
Really good article, read it.
Ben Smith.
So Paul from HP Taxis, Ben Smith's in there, who's currently the youngest studying London cab driver, so youngest studying knowledge boy. There's also Connor Dill, who's going to take the crown from young Mo.
Yep.
So some of you will know Mo.
The end of this month.
Yes.
The end of January, 29th. I think it's 29th of January. He gets his license.
Sometime
like
soon. So yeah, he's already done the knowledge. He's completed it, but as he's not 21,
can't get his badge.
Badge and start. So it was basically an article about how Ben is like, he's got like 3 A levels. He could go to university, and he's like, no, I want to be a cab driver. And it was a whole article about like why people were choosing this profession, and he sort of cites one of the reasons was that he watched my videos, other social media influencers online that talking about the cab trade. And it was the thing when I was doing the knowledge, there was like one blog online. I think it was written by Robert Lorden.
No, it wasn't. It was mine as well. You just didn't read it, that's all.
Well, okay, there was one blog that was really puts you in the frame of mind of a knowledge student, I guess. It was
Robert Lorden.
Yeah, Robert Lorden's one.
Do you know I did an interview with Robert years and years ago that's never ever gone out, and I've still got it.
Still
got it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll put it out one day. I'll put it out on here one day.
And not many people know that he's got quite a successful YouTube channel as well.
He has. Yeah, I mean, he never appears on it himself.
No, never notes himself as a cab driver or anything.
No, he doesn't drive a cab anymore.
Okay, right.
Apparently he doesn't drive a cab anymore. Just getting back to your point about, inspiring people. You probably know this story already because I've relayed it on our little group. And so I was doing a tour just before Christmas, picking up from St Martin's Place, the hotel there. I can't remember the 0.8 or something, 0.4 or something hotel.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I've never heard of it before, but so I pulled around and I'm coming up from Trafalgar Square, waiting to turn right into St Martin's Place, and it was a white BMW or Mercedes has flashed me up and let me turn right in front of him. Private hire driver, and the car was absolutely spotless, yeah. And I turned right, and he sort of followed me, and then I've turned around and parked up in the police base, and I shouldn't have done, but I did, and waited for the people to come round, and he spun round behind me and pulled up beside me, and he's wound his window down, and he's sort of signalling to me to wind my window down, and I'm thinking, oh, what have I done wrong now? You know, what have I done? And he wound his window down, and he said, I watch your videos, mate. I said, oh, do you? Thanks very much. I said, really appreciate it. He said, yeah. He said, I've got to say, you guys that do social media have inspired me and a lot of others to do the knowledge. I said, that's great. I said, good on you. I said, anyone that's trying to better themselves, I said, all credit to you. And he said, yeah, I'm just out pointing while it's quiet in the afternoon. And he had his iPad in the middle of the dashboard with his points on it. He was pointing Covent Garden at the time. And I said to him, do you watch Tom and Mark? And he said, yeah. He said, I watch all of you. He said, what you do is absolutely fantastic. He said, you are inspiring so many people that I know to do the knowledge. And it sort of really made me feel good. And that's why I put it on our WhatsApp group, that, so that everyone else could, feel good about it as well.
It was that article in the Times, because it made me go full circle and made me realise this is why I wanted to do it. It's like, get passengers in cabs, get drivers in cabs, and this is as well, we've got like a little WhatsApp group of all our sort of social media cabbies, so we can sort of share ideas and keep motivated with one another. I'm sort of at the point now where I'm trying to think, what do I actually want from this now, because it's grown far bigger than I ever thought it would. I do make money from it alongside driving the cab, which is great, but now I'm sort of don't know where it's going to go next, because it's kind of achieved its aim. There's not really much else you can get from it other than just keep rinsing and repeating the same videos, and I like doing it. I like seeing the progress of it, but then, as we said at the top of the show, it can be quite draining to put something out that doesn't quite land. So I don't know if I need to kind of just maybe take on a new challenge, do something else. I think I might, speaking out loud here, move over to sort of more Instagram and TikToks. I think looking at how kind of society sees because Paul's had quite a lot of success with Instagram and TikTok, because that's where culture is now. YouTube's a bit more specific in that you have to kind of, you get fed something, but then you have to then click on it and watch it. But I think actual trends and day to day and what's going on in the UK and the world really begins on, say, Instagram and TikTok.
Well, I put a little video out on TikTok of me and John in Manzi's pie and mash shop talking about a sarsaparilla that's had 120,000 views or something stupid like that, and it's had like 50,000 views on Instagram. Absolutely mad.
Yep.
It went absolutely mad. So yeah, it is. But I think you should carry on doing what you're doing, because I think, even if you sort of scale back at the amount of videos you put out, because I was listening to a podcast the other week where they was talking about some of these really successful YouTubers where they was consistent every single week all the time, and now they've decided they're just scaling back and deciding they're just going to put a video out every couple of weeks.
I think that's where it is now. When I first started, I would film, edit everything all by myself, and I could do about 2 a week. Then it gets a bit bigger, and now I'm like, I miss the kind of days when you could just sort of throw shit against the wall and just see what sticks. Sort of say what you want. It doesn't really matter. There's no one watching really. And now it gets bigger. You get more fear of ridicule in the comments. Oh, this wasn't quite right. Why did you do that? Etc. Etc. And
it's all engagement, Tom.
Yeah, it is. But then I've got to look at what the bigger kind of motivating purpose is. So, but now it takes me like ages just to get like one video done. And then I'm like, and I lost my editor last year, and I've not been able to sort of find any adequate replacements. Every editor I've had since, it's like micromanaging and saying like they can't, I'm talking about one part of London and they can't even get the map the right way up. They've got Elephant and Castle, and they've got like Newton Butts at the top and London Roads down the bottom, and I'm like, come on, sort it out.
So have you been editing a lot of them yourself now?
Everything shift video I edit because there's a lot that goes into that. That's the hardest thing you can communicate to an editor. You've got to get the map shot timed with me talking about the location, timed with the dash camera footage. So it can either be edited by a taxi driver or a knowledge student. That's it. So that's kind of all I'm really going to focus on, I think, this year for the most part.
And of course, you got your alter ego now as well, and you got Map Tom as well now.
Oh God, that went well, didn't it? That went well. I was just bored, like, because you set up the camera, you do it a million times over.
Did you borrow them glasses off of Paul Byron?
I got them when I went to conference last year when I was in Texas. They were just handing them out for free, and I just
he wears all these weird sunglasses, and I keep saying to him, "Where on earth did you?" I said to him one day, I said, "I know them sunglasses that you were wearing were probably very, very expensive." I said, "But they're fucking awful."
Yeah, and
terrible.
that weird tealy green watch. I don't know what that's about, but anyway. and Jamiroquai's hat. He wants that back.
I think he's been watching a bit of Stormcab. Did you ever see any of the videos that Stormcab put on YouTube years ago?
Yeah,
Space Cowboy and all that. Still get loads of views.
Yeah, when I started out, again, that was another quite important resource, looking at Stormcab. His website that had all the acronyms, because you join a WhatsApp group and you're like, what does O&O mean? And what's POB and all that stuff, I want to, actually, to be fair, I do want to make a website that has all that on, because I think that's another...
We'll sort that out. We'll do that.
Because that's another thing that, like, a knowledge student or someone who wants to get into this can see and go, wow, it's like this weird exclusive code and club, and I really love that, and he had the resources of, which strip clubs paid out the most.
There's none left anymore to pay out.
Secrets and Hammersmith. That's the only one, I think. They've only got one. Yeah. Have they got another one? But that only...
what's the one in Tottenham Court Road now? Is that still there?
Spearmint Rhino, isn't it?
I can't remember. I ain't been up Tottenham Court Road for years since they closed it off.
That was my best story.
Even when it's open, I don't really drive up there anymore.
No, I very rarely get anyone going to strip clubs. But last year I had 2-3 blokes going to Secrets at Hammersmith and paid out. I was like, sweet. It's very rare that happens now, but
makes your night up. Yeah. So, do you still enjoy being a cab driver?
Yeah, fundamentally, that's the thing I want to do most, rather than doing YouTube.
Yeah,
like I want to go out and just drive around.
Drive the cab. Yeah,
and I've kind of added all this complexity to life. To kind of, like, most mornings I'll wake up until about, like, now we're doing this sort of stuff. I call it media time. I'll work until about 1ish or something, so 9 till 1 doing YouTube stuff. Then I'll go out in the cab till about 11 in the evening, and then we'll go around and do it again. And it's really quite draining. But fundamentally, the cab driving is the thing I enjoy the most. Yeah. I used to do tours. I've got a tour this week. I know you do a lot of tours, but I don't like... I like just the spontaneous nature.
You don't like the commitment.
Yeah. Commitment. I just like driving around, just getting in my own little groove, being a little worker bee, and just But
well, at least with this, you haven't got to edit anything, have you?
That's why I took on that's why I took it on. It's like, Jamie, we edit it all. I just turn up. But it is a commitment, though.
Well, that's why we've used this Riverside thing, because it's going to make life easier, apparently.
Yeah, we'll give it a go.
Apparently, it's going to make things easier. But yeah, there's one of the things that I didn't notice on it. They do hosting, like podcast hosting, but they haven't quite got it right yet, because you can't put a link to the podcast onto your website from it, so it's a waste of time. So yeah, I've gone with Captivate because they are apparently the number one at the moment. Got the money back from Spreaker.
Yeah, told you.
Got the money back from Spreaker, which was good. So some of the features we're going to start doing on Cab Chat. Don't know if you've looked at our little document recently.
I haven't.
You're getting like Mac the Cab already. Look, it's only been 2 weeks and you're just turning up.
In any partnership, you need someone who's organised and someone who just goes off the wall. Usually it's me. I'm usually the more organised one, but I'm delegating that to you. In this instance.
So, a couple of features that I came up with. Creator Spotlight. So I thought we could spotlight and highlight some of the people that do social media. Not just those that are prominent, like Paul Byron, Mark, and people like that, but just some of the TikTokers as well that haven't got many followers.
I've got one to raise, actually. It's quite a funny story, and we'll get people's opinions on this as well, what they think of this, right? And it's a comment you might have had. I've had it before as well. So when I started out, I remember doing like a few runs or whatever, and I'd have a couple of cabbies. You go, oh, that's the wrong way. You can't go that way. You can't do that. And I thought, to hell with you. You wasn't there on the day that I filmed that. You don't know what the conditions were like. So there's no right or wrong way to do a run. The second one was that they were saying, oh, you shouldn't put these videos out because you're teaching the other mob how to drive better, like, and they're going to be using all of our routes and it's all going to be congested.
They can go and buy the blue books.
Well, the thing is as well is that you have to know it inside out to know what works. Yeah. And this is the point I'm going to get onto. So there's a TikToker, Instagrammer, I think it's TikTok, London Cabby Secrets. Have you seen this one?
Is he the one that just does the really fast videos driving around? Or is he?
No, so he's got the Ray-Ban like glasses, presumably clear ones because he does some filming at night. It's a great idea, by the way. And by the way, anyone who ever wants to do any sort of media and stuff online, like people have always mentioned me and go, "Oh, Tom, can you help me out? I don't want to step on your toes." None of it's stepping on any of our toes because the more people who put cab content out there is another person to go and watch, basically.
Well, listen, who is the first person putting cab content out there?
Probably you.
Yeah. And I don't care. Listen, when we first started Cab Chat, me and Mac was trying to encourage people to get out, pick their phone up, just record things and get it out there. You know, if they didn't want to put it out there themselves, we were saying, send it in to us and we'll put it out there. And we'll get onto that in a minute as well.
Just be really mindful of whatever you're putting out. Like, just because you get to put something out, it's like some of the cab drivers on Twitter, and it's the reason why a lot of them are anonymous. But TfL can look into your social background, social media online, to whether you want to be re-licensed. So just put positive stuff out there. It's the easiest thing. There's no need to moan and do anything like that. But coming back to this guy, London Cab Driver Secrets. So he was driving, he put the Ray-Ban Metas on, and driving into like the Bat Cave, so Lower Robert Street, and the Rosewood Hotel cut through, saying like, oh, look at these cut throughs or whatever. And he's got a lot of backlash from people on Twitter saying, oh, he's giving away all these routes. Like, everyone, I went to the Bat Cave the other day and it was a car park. You're like... Well,
I went through the Bat Cave the other week and it was a car park for rickshaws because it was pouring down with rain and they'd all gone and hid in there. Yeah. So if they know where it is, Uber drivers know where it is. And the thing is, Waze does sometimes direct you through there if the traffic's bad. So...
But the thing with any of these cut-throughs is that they're all entirely circumstantial. Like, a lot of conditions have to be correct for you to then go, right, that's going to be the best route. Yeah. So the only time you use, obviously, the Bat Cave is when the Strand is just bollocksed in both directions and you can get yourself onto the Victoria Embankment. And
also, if you're coming along the Strand, going westerly, and people want to go easterly, and they want to go to Wapping or somewhere like that, you're going to nip down John Adam Street and get into the Bat Cave to get back on the embankment to take them in towards the east.
So it's very rare that someone's going to be like, oh yeah, this shortcut's going to like, it's not like the sort of shortcut that's going to like work for every kind of journey.
But as you know, these cab drivers that are saying that, have they ever thought that these Uber drivers or private hire drivers that are using it are ones that are doing the knowledge?
Yeah. Or if they
like that guy that I met. I mean, really, really Indian guy, really pleasant guy, really nice guy, really polite, really unassuming, really quiet bloke, to be honest with you. But he just felt he had to stop and say something. And it could have been someone like him that's doing the knowledge, that knows where it is and is using it to his own benefit while he's working at the moment doing the knowledge.
And my other point on it is that it made, if I was a passenger or just an everyday Joe public looking at that gives me more confidence in black cabs, because I'm like, oh wow, if he knows that cut through or this weird little shortcut, he must know so many more across London that he's doing it for my benefit as a passenger. And you can see the real experience. You can see the traffic on Holborn or High Holborn, and he cuts around the back of Whetstone Park and all that and ends up in Lincoln's Inn and it's all clear. And you think, what a great advert that is. And then the other one, is that then it might inspire a knowledge student who then looks at that and goes, oh wow, there's so much to learn, I want to see all that. So yeah.
But I mean, the other thing is people think that the public don't watch these videos, and yet how many times have I been with you and someone's come up and said, Tom, I watch your videos.
Got recognised this morning. I was in my local newsagent today, and just Tom, he was a cabbie from, I think, Epping Forest, like a sort of council or whatever. So all over really. Yeah.
I was sitting in Oxford one day, and a geezer came up to me and he started talking to me. He said, "Oh, you from London?" And I went, "Yeah." He went, "I recognise your voice." He said, "Are you Jamie that does cab chat?" And I went, "Yeah." Wild. And that's what I used to get. They didn't recognise my face because no one had ever seen mine on Mark's face. Yeah. It was like, I had a geezer, when I was living in Welling, I was coming out to work one evening. I'd come past Falconwood Station. There was a cab driver sitting there waiting to pick his wife up, and he said, "What, you just off to work?" I went, "Yeah, mate, yeah, just on my way in." And he went, "I recognise your voice."
You're that fucking geezer.
You're that fucking geezer, ain't you?
Yeah, but we need more people on the socials to do it, and that's why that Times article was really gave me a bit of shivers, because I'm like, well, it's happening, we're all doing it, and a lot of the young lads are sharing their experience into it. So
I thought Creator Spotlight would be a great thing we could do, and with this Riverside, we can get people on just using their iPhone, really, can't we?
Yeah, we're on iPhone now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but they can just use their microphone on the. I mean, the microphone on the iPhone is quite good.
Yep.
And as long as they're keeping it steady, or they've got it propped up somewhere, they can just we can just send them an invite and they can join us on the show, can't they?
Definitely.
They haven't even got to come in anywhere like we used to have to when we used to record Cab Chat, and they used to have to travel down to come and do the show. They can just sit in the comfort of their own living room and join us.
Massively, yeah.
So I thought that'd be a good one to do. So we're going to start that. We're going to start picking some over the next, probably during February. We'll get some and get them on the show. Only for a little 10, 15 minute thing. Another one was drivers' funny stories. We want drivers to submit their funny stories, things that have happened to you in the cab. I'll tell you a little example was a mate of mine was fella stopped him, and he used to have a metro cab. Yeah, this is before the TXs, when the fairways had the suicide doors the same as the TX, the electrics do. And he had a metro cab, and a bloke stopped him and said, "Will you take us down to Streatham, mate?" And he went, "Yeah, of course, mate." So the guys opened the door, and he's heard the door slam, and off he's driven. Yeah? So he's got all the way down to Streatham High Road, and he's turned round, "Whereabouts in Streatham do you want, mate?" And there was no one in the back of the cab. There's no one in the back of the cab. The bloke had obviously sort of slipped and fallen against the door. The door's shut. Off he's gone.
Wow. To get that
he's driven all the way down there for no reason with the meter on. There's no one in the back of the cab.
Incredible.
Another one, forgot that there was someone in the back of the cab, drove all the way home, parked up on his driveway, looked in the back, and there was a fella still sitting in the back asleep.
I read that one, yeah.
So we want to hear your funny stories as well.
I want to share one quickly. This is one I've had. I never even thought about this until it actually happened. So King's Cross, and I picked up some tourists, some American tourists who might be going over Tower of London, somewhere like that. And I get onto Pentonville Road, and the guy looks at me and he goes, "Yes, you better start your meter." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh God, yeah, I forgot." But from that point afterwards, though, I can't remember what the interaction was. It was very much, he believed I was doing it to rip him off.
Right.
Because some places you go to, the cab driver doesn't use the meter. You get to the end and you charge 30 quid or whatever. No, just generally forgot to turn it on. I've never had it that something that actually doesn't benefit me because I've not turned the meter on, so I've lost money. He took it as, this cab driver's ripping me off.
And the amount of times you actually do it. I mean, I picked some people up, taking them to the airport the other day. It was a pre-booked job, and I'd given them an idea of how much it was going to go on the meter. And I'm all the way down on the M4, just about to turn left onto the spur road. And I looked up to think, I wonder if it's gone how much I told him it's going to go. And I hadn't turned the meter on.
Oh no, that's awful. That's terrible. I never had it that bad.
But he just shoved a load of money in my hand, and it was more than what I'd said anyway. So, and it was far more than what it was going to go. So I was pleased, but could have been a whole different scenario, really, if it was
depending on what the person is like.
just somebody picked up randomly off the street, you know.
Yeah.
Another one I thought is guess who I've had in the back of my cab, mate.
Yeah. That'd be great to have. Yeah.
Guess who I've had in the back of my cab, mate. I thought that'd be a good one to have. So yeah, we want to hear your stories. We're going to put a form on the website, you know, that you can submit your story, and then maybe we'll give you a call and you can tell us your story.
Yeah, we don't want no blaggers. We're gonna pull apart the story and make sure it's all true.
Because we're gonna get a phone number for Cab Chat again, and we'll be able to call you while we're doing the show, and you can tell us your story. Even if it's not on video, we can just listen to you, because on an iPhone now you can get a good connection through, and you can just tell us your story. So that'll be a good one, because we can connect the phone via Bluetooth to the mixer. So yeah, be great. So and also we're starting the Pie and Mash Club again. So when are we going to have our first Pie and Mash Club meet?
I don't know. End of Jan, when I get back from holiday, maybe.
Shall we say the last Monday in January?
Last Monday sounds good. I'll make that to be the 26th.
Oh, hang on. Pie and mash shops are not always open on a Monday.
True. Some have some really dodgy hours, don't they? And they're a bit all over the place.
Shall we have a look and see whether Manzies is open on a Monday? Yeah. Let's have a look, because we'll start at Manzies, because I think it's the
live at the power of Google.
The power of Google right now.
Parking, first come, first serve. Whoever gets that electric bay.
And that will be me, believe me. Let's have a look at their opening times.
Don't know what you park near there, Tower Bridge Road.
Mondays.
Drum roll.
Used to come up with opening times on here, but it doesn't come up with opening times. Why is it not coming up with opening times? It looks like they are open on a Monday.
I think they were the best openings out of most. Like the most consistent and reliable I found in my research many years ago.
Yeah, they're open on a Monday. Manzies are open on a Monday. So we'll say the last Monday in January.
26th.
The last Monday in January.
It's the 26th.
The 26th. So we're going to go for the 26th.
Wherever my phone is. My phone's been used as the camera, so.
Yeah, Monday the 26th of January. What time shall we say?
Is this episode going to go out before then?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Something like midday, maybe?
Midday on Monday the 26th of January, but we'll put it out on the socials anyway that we're starting that. One person that was really keen to join us at the Pie and Mash Club was Connor.
Yeah,
very, very keen.
Yeah,
when
we
saw him at the WCHCD dinner. He said that, Paul Byron wants to start a Pie and Mash Club. I said, go and tell him to go and get an original idea. So where are we starting? Well, maybe we'll invite Paul to come along. What do you think?
Yeah,
invite him over to the south side of the river to a proper pie and mash shop.
North, east, south. Yeah,
north versus south, and then maybe we'll let him pick the second one.
Yeah,
north of the river. And we can compare, and we'll let everyone decide who their favourite pie and mash shop is at the end of the year. We're not going to keep scores this time. We'll let everyone decide which one was their personal favourite one.
Yeah, I'm going for that. I reckon there should be a fish and chips club in there as well somewhere.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. You're the fish and chip. I'm the pie and mash aficionado. You're the fish and chip aficionado. So,
yeah.
I mean, the fish and chip club's got to be an evening thing, though. I think.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be an evening thing. Pie and mash can be a lunchtime thing, so fish and chip can be an evening thing. So when are we going to set the first fish and chip club night for?
Yeah,
that's going to have to be in February, isn't it?
We'll do one. We'll get the pie and mash out of the way. We don't want to put too much on our plate. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll set a fish and chip club night and go from there. Trying to fiddle with loads of different mice here and right, one of the things I wanted to talk about today is Uber. Now, we've all seen videos on TikTok and that of Rachel Reeves and Steve McNamara visiting the Temple shelter with Jude. As if that wasn't set up with all the people that were in the Temple shelter.
Yeah, they like regular
because
patrons.
they never ever go in there. I've never seen any of those in the Temple shelter before, but yeah. So they was obviously all primed to be there when he turned up with her in the back of the cab. But yeah, he was talking about Uber's going to have to pay VAT on every single job they do. And then what did they go and do this week? They've announced that outside of London, they are changing their contract with the drivers so that they now become the agent rather than the person responsible for the booking. And it means that the driver is going to be responsible for the booking, which means the driver will be responsible for the VAT if they are VAT registered on the whole of the fare. It means that Uber's only going to pay VAT on their commission. Basically what they're doing is they're changing the responsibility from them. What they're saying is they're not collecting the fare anymore. The private hire driver's collecting the fare and then paying them commission. Yeah, which is a little bit the way Get and Free Now do it with us. But obviously in London that can't happen because it's illegal for a private hire driver to accept a booking. And I would have thought that would have been the same across the country. But obviously they've looked into it and there's no provision in the Miscellaneous Provisions Act of 1976 to prevent a private hire driver from accepting a booking. So it means that they're going to get away with not paying any more VAT again, except for in London. So that is going to affect Uber drivers in London, or any booking in London, but not outside of London. But then the question that comes up is, what about all these private hire drivers that are working in London that are not registered in London and are licensed in other areas?
I guess it's so complicated, isn't it, when you think about all these nuances and the fact that even as you was sort of, you know, displaying this information, how they've sort of side-skirted it, they've had to do it in line with all their other... It's kind of like a whack-a-mole strategy, isn't it? Where it's like something gets closed, they have to do it again, you know, with terms of, you know, pensions, holiday pay, them being employees, because that then will then have ramifications on how they can then fiddle this VAT thing. And then who's to say that they just go, right, well, London's our biggest market, why don't we somehow have the prices adjusted so that it's not too much of an impact on people in London to pay more because of VAT? So they kind of use the rest of the country
to subsidise
London, basically. Yeah.
And it brings me on to another question. Is that, has cross-border hiring now totally got out of hand? Because, you know, there's the thing that's going around on social media at the moment about a company called Alibaba Cabs, who advertise themselves as Alibaba Cabs taxi service, and they're based in Nottingham,
right?
And they are doing airport transfers from all of the London hotels to Heathrow, Stansted and Gatwick. Let me tell you, they're not cheap.
Right.
I'll tell you how much a car is from some of the hotels, some of the big name hotels in London. It's £130 an hour, minimum of 2 hours. So if you're going to Heathrow, it's £260. And I've quite often heard of tour clients that have booked car services to come into London and they've paid £250 to get into London. And I've said to them, you know, they said, oh, you know, it was a Mercedes V-Class because we couldn't get all our luggage in a taxi. And I said, well, you could have had 2 taxis for the price of that, one for your luggage and one for yourself.
Well, that would be your return jet. You could get there and back and start your holiday, go back and still have some change.
Exactly. Strange, isn't it? It's people's ideas. But the problem is that we're not capturing people before they get into the country. We're only capturing them once they get here.
Yeah.
You know, all these people that have already pre-booked, that are being picked up at the airport, they've already pre-booked. They've been caught before they've ever left home.
Yeah, the marketing
and that's what
drives.
we're not doing. We're not, we've never been very good at marketing ourselves and that. And I think the radio circuits and even the apps to a certain extent that we've got have not been great at marketing themselves. One of the things I came across with Jump, we talked about Jump in the last episode, and I've been giving the cards to loads of American clients, and they couldn't download the app.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because they're not UK registered on the App Store. They're only American registered, so it was of no use to them, even though they were standing in London, which is strange, really. Why can't they download the app?
Yeah, it's wild, yeah. Obviously, they go off like probably an American phone number or something. That's probably it.
Yeah.
Maybe a phone number.
Really strange. But, yeah, I just wondered, and what people's views are on, do they think that cross-border hiring has got out of hand? I mean, the interesting thing is the private hire industry are campaigning not to have cross-border hiring shut down. They want it kept open. They want a national standard. That's what all this national standards thing is about. It's about having one national standard for private hire and taxi drivers across the UK.
Yeah.
Obviously, London's going to be different because we've got the knowledge.
It's weird though, because it's then if you to an extent though, if you close the cross-border hiring, it makes you wonder how flooded London will be of Uber cars, and that could then very much work against us as taxi drivers. If you then get more cars in, prices of Ubers then become cheaper because there's more of an abundance of them. So in some regards, it's not nice, like, to know that, Uber driver registered in London can then go work anywhere, but it keeps him out of London. So then
by the same token, you've got those that are registered outside of London that are working inside of London,
True.
like Wolverhampton plated drivers. You've got a lot of these V classes that are working in London now. You're seeing 24 and 25 plate V classes, diesels. TfL didn't license a 24 or 25 plate diesel V class because it's not zero emissions capable.
Didn't realise that. Yeah.
So they're all licensing in boroughs outside of London, like Hertfordshire and Essex and places like that, and then coming and working in London, because the one thing that makes no difference to them is they've still got to pay the congestion charge whether they're licensed in London or licensed outside of London.
Yeah.
It doesn't make no difference to them. The other thing that's going to make Uber prices go up is that there's going to be a congestion charge on electric vehicles this year. Yeah. I know they're going to get a discount. It's going to be £18. The congestion charge is going up to £18. If you've got a fully electric vehicle, you get a discount. It's going down to £13.50. But it still means that Uber drivers' expenses are going up. And the vast majority of videos that I'm seeing on TikTok are of Uber drivers complaining how low Uber's fares are. In some instances, less than £1 a mile.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. And there's another thing that I saw today, and I didn't get a chance to read it just before we started, is that they're now saying that Uber earns more out of every fare than the driver earns.
Yeah, it's a really weird pricing model. I always thought it was just 25%, but as I learnt from the video I put up where I said, I just did a comparison, typical job I done from West End to Knightsbridge, it went £15, and then on Uber it was like £18. And my complaint was like, well, why are they charging more? Because, it's an Uber. But the comments I got from mainly the Uber drivers was, yeah, but we don't see all that money. I think they saw it as I was having a pop that they're earning more and they're going to be putting more in their back pocket. And they say, well, it can vary. 25% is about the average, but it can be more, it can be less if they're doing some weird stuff. Yeah. And that's the most insidious thing. It's like, how can you properly structure a business if your rates just change so wildly? It must be so disheartening. Like, I know if I go out now in January, I can look at last January's books. We've had a meter increase in that time, but that's it. Like, I can just look one-to-one comparison. Like, if I work this many hours, how much difference did I earn? But there's so many variables there.
So you obviously have you been at work between Christmas and New Year, or you just had the whole of Christmas off?
I did. I worked This is my memory not working very well backwards again. It's like a tape. I've got to rewind it.
You're getting like a young Mac the Cabby, you know that, because his memory's diabolical as well.
It's locations fine, obviously. Like I can pin stuff. I can tell you where random people live that I've met years ago. But like no, like chronological stuff. It's terrible. Go back. So I didn't work Christmas Eve. I worked the day before, 2 days before. Did I work a little bit in between? I did work a bit in between, and I packed up the day before New Year's Eve, so I didn't go on New Year's Eve. Yeah. Not up for that, and I've not been back since. I don't think. I went to go driving the other day, and my heating has packed up. So
more expense.
More expense, as you said. 6-year-old cab.
Yeah, everything starts going wrong, mate.
Yeah.
6-year-old. Well, mine's in Ascot's at the moment. And I've got a lovely pink one.
Oh, is that the one they gave you?
Yeah, I've got a pink one. Oh, yeah. I don't think I'm going to be going to work in it.
What, a liveried one or just pure pink?
Yeah, no, liveried one.
Yeah.
It's got pink livery on it. And no, I don't think I'm going to be going to work in it. Other things to note, if you're listening to this, is that the City Airport is going to introduce an £8 set-down charge this month. Gatwick drop-off charge is going up to £10, and the Heathrow drop-off charge is increasing to £7 from £6. At the moment, it's already increased for most people, but at the moment, it will not increase for London taxi drivers until after our tariff review or our tariff increase in April, and it goes on the fare chart, because Heathrow are not allowed to increase it because they are within the metropolitan district. Until it's on our fare tariff chart. So we will still pay £6 until then. But the others, you will be charged. The increases, you will be charged. The increase for Gatwick, and you will be charged the £8 for City Airport, I believe.
So how does that work then? Sorry, just the point you raised there about... Because
Heathrow's chart, I'm not quite sure. The message that City Airport put out was a bit ambiguous, to be honest with you, because I'm not sure whether they're charging it to London taxi drivers at the moment or whether it's not going to come in until April, once they've negotiated with TfL and it goes onto our tariff sheet that there is an £8 set down charge for City Airport. Obviously, Gatwick is outside of the Met.
Yeah,
so
what are they like? Yeah,
you know, Stansted the same. I would imagine Stansted's set down charge will go up to £10 as well.
I think it might already be, or is it? It's something close to that.
£7 or £9 or something, but they'll probably put theirs up as well. So just things to be aware of if you get a job going to there. But then if you get a job going to Stansted on the meter. Personally, I'd swallow the set-down charge.
Yeah,
I know some cab drivers wouldn't, but you know you're earning enough money out of the job anyway, so you might as well swallow it and just wipe your mouth and be happy you've had a decent job like that.
Yeah.
The other thing that I was going to mention this week was apparently China has put the brakes on autonomous vehicles, especially. Autonomous taxis, or driverless taxis as they call it. They're limiting it to 2 companies on a trial basis only at the moment, which is quite astonishing, seeing as they are the main push behind autonomous vehicles. So yeah, they've put the brakes on it at the moment, and we've all seen the things with the Waymo cars on TikTok and Instagram, with them just stopping when traffic lights go out, just stopping in the middle of a junction because they don't know what to do, or
they get in their own gridlock because it's like 3 of them are kind of quite close to one another and it doesn't know which one to move, and you're like or the worst one I've seen is apparently because of where the sensors and stuff like that are, they run over cats and dogs. They
could run over a baby.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like it's no different than when you're in your cab and if you go to move off, and if someone's walking a dog or something, you don't know where that is. You can't see down there. Yeah, so
but they've it's going to be fun in London, and the thing is, the Waymo cars I'm seeing driving around at the moment are obviously imported from America because they are all left-hand drive.
Oh, right. So have you seen them out and about then?
Yeah. How is that going to work with passengers? Because they're
Yeah,
just
that'd be worse.
immediately going to try to get in the left-hand side, and the steering wheel's going to be there.
Yeah.
It's not going to really work. And the other thing is, every single one of them I've seen driving around has had 2 people sitting in the front. If it takes 2 people to make sure that the car's working okay, how safe would you feel with no one in it driving around London?
Well, I think that's just because of the policy that it's been. They have to have an operator there to look after it whilst it's still going through the testing and stuff like that.
2?
Yeah, maybe it's just because of the precautions of it. I mean, like I say, I've been in one. I went in one in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, I watched your video of it, and
I think they're incredible. I think they're fantastic. I don't think they're going to have.
But do you think they'll have problems in London?
No, I don't think so. Because once it kind of gets mapped out, once they get enough cars driving around and do all the different permutations of route, I think they're going to be fine. But how they necessarily can work on, say, like a dodgy 4-way set of lights that get set up that's a bit weird and janky, I don't know. They're going to be confused. There's going to be some edge cases, but I think for the most part, there will be. If their pricing is better than Uber's or similar to the Uber's, then I wouldn't want to be an Uber driver right now. We've got a bit of time. We're still fine, I think, but depends how long for.
Yeah.
When do they make an autonomous taxi? Like, as in R-shaped vehicle.
It's supposed to be encouraging people to do the knowledge, Tom.
I know, but I also don't want to just be like a cab driver who's like, oh yeah, I'm way better than an autonomous driver. Because I'm not better than an autonomous driver. If you think about it, how close an autonomous vehicle can get to another vehicle without colliding will be ridiculous. The tolerances will be so fine. I would not be able to compete that.
I can definitely get that close. You haven't seen me park a cab. But to answer your question, you are better than an autonomous driver because you have a personality.
Do I?
Well, say you've told me anyway.
Yeah, hopefully so. Yeah.
I mean, got a personality. You've got a personality, the human element.
It is the human element of it, isn't it?
You can put a wheelchair in the cab.
Correct. That was the other good
you
point
can
that
help
someone
with
raised.
luggage. You can give people advice on restaurants. Mind you, I suppose an autonomous car could do that via AI as well. But you can have a conversation. Mind you, ChatGPT can do that as well.
Yeah, but nuanced conversation, isn't it? You know, because ChatGPT doesn't have that level of emotions or that flavour to it. You know.
So shall we tell everybody what your idea for a YouTube video was?
Which one? So I've got so many ideas.
Well, we're all going to get together and do one big video.
Yeah, we'd love to do that. So logistically, it's a bit problematic how it works because of TFL recording restrictions and stuff like that. But yeah, effectively, we wanted to do one. What kind of spurred it on is, I can't think of the documentary that does it, but maybe some of these TV documentaries where they follow like a day in the life of, say, I don't know, a hospital or a paramedic crew, and the camera cuts between lots of different elements. There might be someone up in a helicopter, and then there might be someone in the ambulance, and there might be someone waiting at the A&E. And I like that kind of continued narrative that you see it, you know, maybe see someone from start to finish. So it'd be good for us as cab drivers because we could all go out, we could all meet up, then we go out, one of us might have bad luck, one of us might have good luck, and then where we meet up and where people then get to, like, it'd be nice to see on a map that, you know, I'm up in like, you know, Kensington somewhere and someone's like down in like, you know, Deptford, and yeah, I just think that'd be a cool idea, really.
Up and gone home.
Pretty much, yeah. Probably be me.
Anyway, I think that's enough for today. I think we've rabbited on for long enough. So I think we're going to wrap this one up for today. But if you want to get in touch, or if you want to leave us a voice message or a message, you can voice message us via the website. We do have a voice message facility on there. And I'm going to make it really easy for everybody. If you just go to cabchatshow.uk/voicemail, then you will be able to leave us a voice message. And as I say, I'm going to put a form on the website as well, so you can submit your funny stories with your phone number, and then we'll give you a call and you can tell us all about your funny stories, and also one for who you've had in the back of your cab as well.
Oh yeah.
And as from February, we're going to start having a few creators on the show, and also we've got to get Ben Smith on the show as well, because just a quick story about Ben before we go. I actually drive his mum once every 2 weeks. Yeah, I pick her up from Heathrow and bring her into the flat where Ben stays. Yeah, and do you know, he could have done anything he wanted to do, because his brother's training to be a commercial airline pilot, and their parents gave him the choice of doing anything. They could have gone to university, done whatever they wanted, and he chose to be a black cab driver. And she's so proud of him, you know. She's so proud of both what her boys are doing, because they're twins, and she's so proud about what both of them are doing. You know, she couldn't be happier with him being a black cab driver. And you know, they're obviously not short of money, because they got the flat in Canary Wharf and they live in Maidstone, but they also live in Qatar as well. Yeah. So, you know, and they're funding him and his brother from doing what they want to do as well. But yeah, we've got to get Ben on the show, and we said we're going to follow him through his journey.
I think it'd be quite an interesting, obviously, with what his brother's doing, if he's becoming a commercial pilot. It's almost like the 7 and Up series, isn't it? Yeah. Which two of them kind of stick to their trade longest or gets the most satisfaction from it, you know? Who knows? Exactly. I'd be really interested to see, yeah. Or, you know, who gets kind of, you know, nearer to the finish line first. I mean, I'm sure... Probably because of the sheer hours in commercial pilots. I think Harry's
going to get there first, to be honest with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think he might get there first.
Because you have to get quite a lot of hours. It's 2,000 hours, isn't it, before we can go commercial, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's going to be a close run thing, I think, to be honest with you, because obviously Ben's only 18. They're both only 18, and don't forget, Ben can't get his badge until he's 21.
True, yeah.
So it means that Harry's still got 3 years, and he's quite a way through, you know, getting his pilot's licence. Yeah. So it's going to be a really close thing, to be honest with you. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I don't think we'd be able to, because I think Harry's based down in Southampton at the moment. And I think he's going over to America to do some training over there as well. Yeah. So we won't be able to follow him. Well, you can. I don't like flying.
Just get him to fly us there, yeah.
Yeah. Just get him to fly us there in the Cessna. It's about like mine and Mac's wacky idea about doing John O'Groats to Land's End on a couple of Boris bikes, really, wasn't it? You know? Yeah. That was never going to happen.
That cost you a few quid.
Straight away.
Yeah.
I was still up for it, but he bottled.
I rode a Boris bike back to Hatfield once.
Did you?
Yep.
I bet you left it there as well, didn't you? I
didn't understand how the charging worked, like the fares, the scheme of the payment. So
basically, you bought the bike.
I might as well have done, because at the time, if it went missing, it was £300. Yeah. So £300 for a Boris bike seems quite fine. It was because it was £2 to unlock it. I'd missed the last train home, and I was in University of Hertfordshire at the time. I just saw this Boris bike dock. I was like, yes. It's about 26 miles back to Hatfield. Done it I got home about 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning.
What time did you set out?
Just after midnight, so it was about 3.5, 4 hours. Really cold.
I probably got there about 6.
But one big discovery I did find, right? So I'm going up the Holloway Road. Yeah. KFC, just before you get up near Archway Station. Yeah. I went in, got a box meal. The box meal fits perfectly in that little basket bit at the front there. I was going up Archway Road, just feeding chips, riding this Boris bike like, this is the greatest idea I've ever had.
I wish I'd had a video camera back then.
I've got photos of it. I woke up with this Boris bike, and my mates were like, why you got this Boris bike?
You know, now you've said you've got photographs of it. You know, photographic evidence is everything. Without photographic evidence, it's not a real story, is it? No. They're going to have to go on the Cab Chat Instagram page, aren't they? These photographs have got to go on the Cab Chat Instagram page of you riding a Boris bike with your KFC in the basket at the front. So then I woke up in the morning, dumped it in the back of my Ford Escort at the time I had, and drove it. I didn't know London at the time, so the first Boris bike dock I could find was at Regent's Park, just opposite the zoo. Dumped it there, and £60 later, done. 60 quid. Not bad, I guess, for a fun story like that. You might as well have got a cab.
Yeah, back then it would have been 20. No, when would that have been? I just finished in 2013. Probably about 2014, I'd say. 2014, 2013. So we're talking about
How
11.
many miles is it? 26 miles?
26 miles, yeah. I think it was about 26.
About 75, 80 quid. If that back then.
Yeah.
I think, what was it, about £3 a mile or something back then?
Yeah, I paid £2 for the unlock, so it was 62 quid. And it was cold. I remember having to rotate. I was wearing my jacket.
And you had to stop to buy KFC as well.
And take the cab back. Take the bike back in the morning. Drive it in the morning, yeah.
Yeah. You should have got a cab. It would have been cheaper.
Yeah, hindsight is a fabulous thing.
On that note, I think it's time to say goodbye for this week. And if you want to get in touch with us, you can do so via the website. All of our social media links are on there. It's cabchatshow.uk. And that's everything from me this week, I think.
Yeah, goodbye everyone. Be lucky, and we'll see you again soon.
Just one thing before we go. This is hopefully going out on YouTube as well, so you can go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. And we're going to try to put it out as a collaboration thing.
Yeah, you can see my wood panels that aren't attached to the wall.
I've got some double-sided Velcro for them if you need it.
Oh, that'll do, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Then if you do move out, you can just peel them off, can't you?
And reveal the white wall underneath.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly. Anyway, until next time, be lucky out there, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Well, we won't, because we didn't video the next one, but we'll see you on the one after that. And we'll see you on the 26th of January at Manze's in Towerbridge Road at 12 o'clock for the Pine Mash Club. Some proper grub. Proper grub. Yeah. See you next time.
Bye.